Yo, what's up guys? This is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Welcome back to the channel. Many thanks to all of you who have supported me on Patreon. If you want access to exclusive and complete versions of the stories, join me on Patreon. I already have dozens of stories available there. You can even send fanfic requests. The link is in the description. Enjoy the video. Peace. Collecting Treasure Chests in Konoha. 1TC. Chapter 1. Uchiha Qin Xuan seek data. Collecting Treasure Chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 188th. Chapter 1. Uchiha Qin Xuan seek data. Next. The Country of Fire. Konoha. A group of people gathered around the training ground and looked inside. What? The training ground here is full of people. No way, let's change places. Hey, look at the clan crests on their bodies. This should be the clan crest of the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha family. Oh, I remembered, isn't this the Uchiha clan that was almost wiped out a few years ago and only 2 clansmen were left alive? I remember one being the culprit of Genocide Night, Uchiha Itachi's younger brother Uchiha Sasuke. The other one seems to be Uchiha Qin Xuan, who moved out of the Uchiha tribe a long time ago and escaped unharmed. Speaking of which, these guys are about to graduate and become genin. A group of people with Konoha forehead protectors on their heads discussed in a low voice. Among them a small number of people showed dissatisfaction in their eyes. I really don't know what the 3rd generation project is thinking. It's not just these 2 Uchiha clans. Are you planning to make that Nine Tails kid a ninja? Hehe, if Nine Tails goes berserk or Uchiha's people go crazy and start killing again, there will be big trouble. Don't worry, they have no chance. My children are classmates with this group of people, and Uchiha Sasuke is the first in the whole grade, not to mention that kid from Nine Tails, and Uchiha Qin Xuan can't even control chakra well. One doesn't even know 3-body technique. The other Uchiha is dignified, but ninjutsu and genjutsu can't be used because of chakra. Is it possible that he still wants to become a ninja by virtue of taijutsu? He thinks he is Might Guy Sr. Many people laughed mercilessly, although they have lowered their voices. But as a person who has already experienced ninja training, Qin Xuan and Sasuke listened to their conversation clearly. Sasuke clenched his fist slightly, although he has heard these words hundreds of times in the past few years. Whenever they mention Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke still can't hold back his killing intent. He couldn't help but glanced at the figure sitting under the shade of a tree on the training ground. This figure also looks like a boy. He has soft and slightly messy hair, a slightly immature and handsome face. It makes people feel very comfortable. Only, at this moment Qin Xuan was leaning against the tree, but his eyes were a bit astonished and bewildered. It seems that he is still in a daze. Uchiha Sasuke watched the backs of those people leaving. His eyes were slightly lowered. After he greeted Qin Xuan. Didn't wait for Qin Xuan to react. Just left the training ground. ... Ding system prompt. Chakra energy replenishment progress reached 100%. The strongest auxiliary training system has been activated. The current level is level 1 and the host has been successfully bound. Ding registered target, Uchiha Sasuke. Whether to consume 10,000 points to draw the initial treasure chest. 10 out of 10. Reminder: since the host draws for the first time, the system will not consume points. Note: the first level system can only select a target unit to draw 10 times a day when drawing treasure chests. Please choose carefully by the host. Qin Xuan stared blankly at the screen in front of him. Quite a while. He just came back to his senses. There was a weird look on his face. System. There are 9 out of 10 benefits that can be obtained as a time traveler. Qin Xuan, the blue star who traveled to the world of Hokage, naturally also knew about it. But the problem lies in the progress of the so-called chakra energy replenishment. Could it be the reason why he has been unable to extract chakra for no reason since he was a child? The dog system has screwed me over. Qin Xuan gritted his teeth with hatred. You know, he escaped the Nine Tails rebellion as a kid. Escaped the night of the Uchiha genocide. By the way, 3-year-old little Hinata was cut off for the first time. Because I ran out of the house and lost my way. Later Qin Xuan dragged him back to the Hyuga clan. With this she became the little Lolita's white moonlight. And all kinds of divine prophecies deceived the naive and cute Uchiha Izumi into his camp. And arranged for her to leave Konoha and go to the Kingdom of Grass to take Sharingan away before the night of genocide. Qin Xuan originally thought that he could shine in the war-torn ninja world in the future. As a result, I started practicing chakra at the age of 5. The chakra extracted from his body will always disappear inexplicably. Even going to the hospital failed to find out the specific cause. And now, he finally understood. It turned out that it was the system in his body that did the trick. If it weren't for the traces of chakra, he could barely cast 3-body technique and illusion. In the future, I can still take the path of gymnastics. He might not even be able to enter the ninja academy. Although Qin Xuan's heart was full of complaints. But in a sense, it's nothing. Chakra's situation can be regarded as saving his life in disguise. After all, Qin Xuan knew it very well. As the mastermind behind the Uchiha genocide, Konoha village's shady Shimura Danzō has been spying on him and Uchiha Sasuke. But Sasuke is still protected by Uchiha Itachi. Danzō and 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't dare to do anything to him either. But Qin Xuan has no background at all. If it weren't for his witty communication with 3rd generation, he has always shown a very yearning attitude towards the will of fire. Dislike of the Uchiha clan. And the mysterious disappearance of chakra. This eliminated the inner guard of the 3rd generation. His current life is not necessarily so good. Be it 3rd Hokage or Danzō. They would never have thought of it. The identity of a young child. In fact, it is a crossover from Otherworld. And people who are familiar with the Hokage plot. So when Qin Xuan found out that the 3rd generation was planning to deal with him in the same way as Naruto, his heart is naturally very contemptuous. Your system has cheated me for so many years. At least show me some decent abilities. Whether to consume 10,000 points to draw the initial treasure chest. 10 out of 10. Confirm. Qin Xuan muttered inwardly. Chapter 2. The first treasure chest extraction, seeking data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 288. Chapter 2. The first treasure chest extraction, seeking data. Note the quality of the initial treasure chests that can appear as white, green, blue. Currently confirmed target, Uchiha Sasuke. The initial treasure chest is being drawn. Ding. Host has obtained a white quality treasure chest. Ding. Host has obtained a white quality treasure chest. Ding. Host has obtained a green quality treasure chest. Ding. The critical strike has been successfully triggered and the host has obtained a blue quality treasure chest. Current cumulative white quality chests quantity, 7. Current cumulative green quality treasure chest quantity, 2. Current cumulative blue quality treasure chest quantity, 1. Whether to open. Qin Xuan immediately agreed. Soon, all treasure chests are opened. Ding. The host opens the white quality treasure chest and gets Sharingan fragments quantity, 10. When all 100 fragments are collected, a Hook Jade Sharingan can be opened. Ding. The host opens the white quality treasure box and gets chakra, 500 points, and the amount of chakra in one card is about 10,000 points. Ding. The host opens the white quality treasure box and gets the currency of the country of fire, 1800 taels. One tael is about equal to 10 yuan of the currency of the blue star Sakura flower country. Ding. The host opens the green quality treasure chest and gets Sharingan fragments quantity, 30. Ding. Host opened the green quality treasure chest and got chakra, 1500 points. Ding. Host opened the blue quality treasure box and obtained the C-level ninjutsu, fire style great fireball technique. The fire style skill tree has been successfully opened and the host can consume points enough to buy the fire style ninjutsu that appeared on the mall list. Currently all treasure chests have been opened. Host accumulatively obtained Sharingan fragments 4100ths. Get 3000 chakra points. Gain mental power increased by 5%. Obtain fire country currency 3500 taels. Acquire E-class ninjutsu, clone technique. Acquire C-level ninjutsu, fire style great fireball technique. Looking at the dazzling system prompts in front of him, Qin Xuan couldn't help but gasped. Next second, regarding the clone technique, the method of performing the great fireball technique clearly appeared in my mind. Qin Xuan had already studied the 3-body technique in the ninja school. Just due to the exhaustion of chakra. So the level of display is better than Naruto. But now, after obtaining the clone technique's method of operation, he feels that his proficiency in clone technique has directly improved from entry level to grandmaster level. At the same time, a terrifying amount of chakra and mental power poured into the body. In an instant Qin Xuan gained a chakra amount far exceeding that of ordinary genin. But this is not enough. You must know that although Hatake Kakashi is a unit of measurement dubbed chakra by countless audiences, but he is still an elite jonin who is infinitely close to Kage-level strength. If it weren't for the non-Uchiha family to cast Sharingan, it would consume several times the chakra. Kakashi is not so lacking in blue. And Naruto, who is the protagonist of Hokage, it has the blood of the Whirlpool family. During the blast period, even overpowering Nine Tails, the amount of chakra he can use is also several times that of Kakashi. In its heyday it was as high as 100 times. This number is already quite terrifying. However, this is not the limit. Open up with half a Nine Tails at Naruto, after completing Fairy Fox mode. But Konoha's first Hokage Senju Hashirama commented, "Such a powerful chakra is almost catching up with me." Single quote. It can be seen how deep the water in this ninja world is. Therefore, this is the chakra of 3,000 points. More or less still not enough to see. But at this moment Qin Xuan was particularly excited. This is 13 years since he traveled through time. For the first time I really felt what a rich chakra looks like. If it weren't for the fear of being seen by the strange telescope technique of the third generation. He can't wait to perform a great fireball technique on the spot. Certainly, what Qin Xuan likes the most is a fragment of a jade Sharingan. This Sharingan, known as one of the three major pupil techniques in the ninja world, possesses various abilities, such as copying insight illusion. These are the basic abilities of Yigoyu Sharingan. And with the evolution of Guyu, these abilities will also become stronger. And after reaching the limit of the three-hook jade, this will unlock the special Sharingan, Mangekyō. At the same time, each Uchiha tribe possesses unique Mangekyō Sharingan abilities, such as Uchiha Obito's Mangekyō Sharingan for time-space ninjutsu, Kamui. Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyō Sharingan is Immortal Black Flame's physical attack, Amaterasu, and mental attack type illusion, Tsukuyomi. Uchiha Sasuke's Mangekyō Sharingan is Amaterasu, and Flame Control, which can change the form of black flame. Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyō Sharingan is the most powerful illusion, Distinguished Heavenly Gods, that can change other people's thoughts and actions without anyone knowing it. Chapter 3. The voice heard by Hyuga Hinata seeking data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha tricking a shy Hinata home. 388. Chapter 3. The voice heard by Hyuga Hinata seeking data. If there is no system, the upper limit of Qin Xuan's life may be the strength of elite jonin or Kage level. This is still a case of luck opening Mangekyō Sharingan. And most importantly, Mangekyō Sharingan is risky, because he has no direct blood relatives who also started Mangekyō. So once the future abuses one's abilities too much, 9 times out of 10 it will lead to blindness, and thus become a useless person. But now Qin Xuan has the treasure chest function endowed by the system. In a sense it is also a disguised form of stealing abilities from others to protect oneself. That is, as long as Qin Xuan stares at Uchiha Sasuke who owns the Sharingan, he pulls the wool hard. Even if he doesn't need to practice deliberately. No need to suffer a huge stimulus. Sooner or later in the future you will be able to open your own Mangekyō Sharingan. Even the eternal Mangekyō. And there is no need to worry about the risk of blindness. Think about it this way. Qin Xuan also had some expectations. What kind of abilities will my Mangekyō have? Why? Correct. Qin Xuan suddenly came back to his senses. If you can get the ability of Sharingan through Uchiha Sasuke, does that mean that I can also obtain the abilities of other ninjas through other people? Like the eyes of the Hyuga clan, Hatake Kakashi's Kamui and lightning style ninjutsu Chidori and Reikiri that can work with Sharingan. Distinguished Heavenly Gods and Izanagi by Shimura Danzō. Naruto's Nine Tails Chakra Rasengan Sage Mode. Comparable to Susanoo's Wood Style Ninjutsu and more. And if all these ninjutsu are concentrated in one body. Just think about it. Qin Xuan felt his scalp tingling. But there is still more excitement in him that cannot be concealed. If it wasn't for worrying about being regarded as a fool, Qin Xuan almost couldn't help performing a wave of Uchiha laughter. He clenched his fist slightly. Said slowly, in my heart. Living in the days of Konoha. Although half of them are not so good memories. But that doesn't matter anymore. After more than 10 years of silence it finally broke out today. Now I declare, Uchiha Qin Xuan, it will definitely turn everything around. In the future the entire ninja world will surely resound my name. Now I declare, Uchiha Qin Xuan, everything will be reversed. In the future the entire ninja world will surely resound through my name. Konoha Village. The Hyuga clan. Hyuga Hinata at the end of a day of practice. Holding his tired body he returned to the room. Yet she had just closed the door. Suddenly there was an excited voice in his ears. It frightened her a lot. Her spirit tensed up instantly. However, look around. Hinata couldn't find the source of the sound. This also made the little Lolita wonder for a moment, did she have an illusion or something? I just carefully recalled the sound just now. Hinata suddenly came to his senses. The white and pure beautiful eyes also slightly widened. Uchiha Qin Xuan. Think of the name. A figure involuntarily appeared in Hinata's mind. It was a boy with black hair. The appearance is very handsome and there is always a very gentle and friendly smile on his face. Loved by many people in school. Although the memory of childhood is a bit fuzzy. But Hyuga Hinata still remembers. When I ran out of the house for the first time but accidentally lost my way and squatted on the ground helplessly crying. It was Qin Xuan who ran over to talk to her. And he guessed her identity all at once and sent her back home. A boy who obviously looks about her age. But it gave Hinata a pretty solid sense of security. The two held hands along the way. The surrounding street lights are very dark. Hinata wasn't even the slightest bit scared. He just followed Qin Xuan silently. Until she was delivered to the door of the house. Qin Xuan just told Hinata his name. The back view of the other party leaving at that time. It also left a lingering shadow in the heart of little Hinata. It made her look forward to it. Hinata thought it would be difficult to see Qin Xuan again in the future. However, she never expected that the two would meet again at the Ninja Academy in the end. Although I was bullied by other students on the first day of school because of the white eyes. But he was immediately rescued by Qin Xuan. The two also took this opportunity to become friends. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. Chapter 4. Uchiha Izumi and Sharingan seeking data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 488. Chapter 4. Uchiha Izumi and Sharingan seeking data. Uchiha Qin Xuan. In a remote cabin in a border village of the Land of Fire. Sharingan, who heard the name. The delicate body trembled slightly. She froze for a moment. Immediately there was a somewhat surprised and uncertain expression. He looked at the moment when he was kneeling quietly on the futon and meditating quietly. On the body of a girl who was tightly wrapped in a black robe. The girl has long black and beautiful hair like a waterfall. It hangs down the slender waist. Contact Yuzu. The cheeks that have faded away from the green and immature are beautiful and picturesque. In the corner of his eye. There is this tear mole lightly embellished. But it doesn't affect her beauty at all. On the contrary, it made her more gentle and mature. And most surprising, it was still a young girl with scarlet eyes at this time. That is the Sharingan with the outline of the three-hook jade. Sister Quan. This person who calls himself Qin Xuan, could it be? Sharingan suppressed the excitement in her heart. So he asked curiously, even though the girl was tightly wrapped in a loose black robe. But it is still difficult to conceal the plump and proud curves of the girl. Ling Sharingan couldn't help but take a second look. And Quan didn't notice Sharingan's strangeness. He just held his chin and pondered for a moment. Although there are quite a few people named Qin Xuan in this world. But add the Uchiha family name. It should be him alone. The three-tomo Sharingan of Uchiha Spring recedes slowly. Now she has deeply understood that this sound does not seem to be an illusion. I can't help but feel a lot of emotion in my heart. The boy in my memory. Obviously 3 or 4 years younger than her. But he has a calmness and mystery far beyond his peers. Not only did he accurately predict Uchiha Shisui's death. Foretells that she has activated the three-tomo Sharingan. It is predicted that Uchiha Itachi will kill and directly destroy the future of the Uchiha family. It was even predicted that she would be killed by a masked man. Even the Sharingan is poached after death. When I first heard the news, Uchiha Izumi was almost dumbfounded. A young girl, how can it withstand the pua of a traveler adult? 3 times, 5 times and 2 times were tricked by Qin Xuan into the same thief boat. Not only directly used illusion to modify the memory of teammates when performing tasks. As a result, he was registered as a missing person by Konoha. At the same time, she also received instructions from Qin Xuan. She ran to the country of grass and relied on her cleverness to rescue Sharingan and her mother. It's just that Sharingan's mother suffered from years of torture. The chakra in the body has been severely overdrawn. Quan can't do anything. After spending the last time with Sharingan's mother, the two of them buried him. Then they fled back to the land of fire together. After earlier intelligence gathering, Quan guessed Qin Xuan's purpose in wanting to get Sharingan in an instant. Possesses powerful healing powers that can heal wounds in just a few seconds with a single bite. In her cognition, perhaps only Master Tsunade, who is known as the strongest medical master, can surpass it. This little girl, regardless of whether it is placed on any side of Konoha village, they will all be treated as babies. As a result, this country of grass doesn't know how to cherish it. Now he tortured Sharingan's mother, who also had this ability, to death. Not only that, these ninjas from the country of grass are still offering rewards to other ninja villages, willing to pay an extremely high price to ask those ninjas to track down Sharingan's location and bring her back. And in the battle to protect Sharingan several times, she was also hit hard many times. Although Quan's strength has become stronger in battle after battle, but in the end it is hard to beat four hands with two fists. Facing the pursuit of hundreds of ninjas in the country of grass, she could only turn around and run away. Therefore, in order to avoid being wanted by the country of grass, Quankai had no choice but to take Sharingan to settle down in a small border village far away from the country of grass. Later, by chance, the two gathered some war orphans and cultivated according to the way Qin Xuan taught her to form some teams. Live here smoothly. But, even until now, there are still those grass country ninjas with evil thoughts looking for them everywhere. Chapter 5. Focus on Hinata and Hanabi. This kid is really Punished data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 588. Chapter 5. Focus on Hinata and Hanabi. This kid is really Punished data. Got Quan's nod. Sharingan's expression instantly became excited. What she knew about Qin Xuan before, all from Quan's description, since learning that it was Qin Xuan who asked Quan to take her away. This name has already left a deep impression on Sharingan's heart. Soon, the two also focused their attention on the text in front of them again. Certainly, having said that, before you really have the cage level strength enough to deter one party. In short, we still need to develop a wave of wretchedness first. Don't look at third generation monkey and dog Danzō is not paying special attention to me now. But once I have a sign of rising, third generation may still turn a blind eye. But the dog Danzō will definitely not let me go. If I am a dignified traveler who was killed within a few days after getting the system. That's too embarrassing. No matter how you say it, I have to wait until I have some self-preservation power before showing some talent. Thus, even if Danzō has thoughts about me, I don't need to be afraid of him. Third generation monkey. Dog Danzō. This title really suits them well. Tsunade couldn't help laughing. She held her chin with one hand. He drank heavily. He looked at the words and voices that appeared in front of him with more interest. And Shizune, who was holding a small wine bottle, was obviously a little uneasy. Master Tsunade, please stop drinking. No matter how you say it, the sound is too weird. Shizune scanned the surrounding guests, but found that except for them, the other guests didn't seem to be bothered. In other words, it is very likely that only she and Master Tsunade can hear this voice. The text that can appear directly in the line of sight is some kind of illusion. Is there any enemy? Shizune's expression immediately became alert. But Tsunade is obviously much calmer. Don't panic, Shizune. You are also my disciple after all. Take a good look. Our chakra did not appear to be disordered, which means that this is not an illusion. And didn't the strange voice just say that? This is about the voice of Uchiha Qin Xuan. Maybe someone developed a new ninjutsu. After all, reanimation jutsu that can in a sense bring the dead back to life. The flying thunder god technique that can span thousands of miles was invented by his great uncle. It's not surprising that there is a ninjutsu that can hear the voice of the heart. Shizune looked at Tsunade with some surprise. His face was full of disbelief. New ninjutsu? Does this mean that even Master Tsunade has seen this ability for the first time? But soon, Shizune became a little worried again. However, Master Tsunade, this self-proclaimed time traveler Uchiha Qin Xuan seems to have some complaints against Lord Third Hokage. Tsunade snorted expressionlessly. HMPH, it has nothing to do with me. I'm no longer a ninja now. When it comes to Konoha, some painful memories came to Tsunade's mind. These memories also contributed to her phobia. And at this time, the words and voices in sight resurfaced. Forget it, I don't want these anymore. I don't know what the two little girls Hinata and Ino are doing now. Sister-in-law Hanabi, I heard that she defeated Hinata some time ago. Heir of the Hyuga clan. Should still be practicing hard now. You must know that Hinata and Hanabi will be responsible for the appearance of the Hyuga clan in the future. In this Hokage ninja world is one of the best. In the future I have to find a way to lure this pair of Baifume sisters back home. Thus, you can lie flat for the rest of your life. Hyuga Hinata, Hyuga Hanabi, Yamanaka Ino, Shongalin. Marry the two little girls from the Hyuga family. The sunset red eyes are extremely strange. Uchiha Qin Xuan, Hyuga Hinata. She is very familiar with these two names. Because Kurenai Yuhi will be one of the Jonin captains who will lead the Genin trio this year. She naturally knew the names of all the ninjas in this graduating class. Uchiha Qin Xuan 13 years old this year. Hyuga Hinata 12 years old this year. Hyuga Hanabi's words. In her impression she should be around 7 or 8 years old. Good guy. At such a young age he has his eye on the heir of the Hyuga clan. Still want to marry the two of them back home. Ambition is not small. Opinion on this matter. Yuhi Hong's evaluation is punishment. Too much punishment. This dream is simply impossible to be imprisoned. But think about it. After all, this so-called time traveler has seen the future of Hyuga Hinata and Hyuga Hanabi. It is also enough to show that these two sisters should really belong to the category of beauty and beauty. Otherwise this strange guy who claimed to be a time traveler would not be so obsessed with it. Chapter 6. Spoiler: Conan was killed. Conan people are stupid. Subscription. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 688. Chapter 6. Spoiler: Conan was killed. Conan people are stupid. Subscription. Just don't know. What will you look like in the future? Yuhi Hong thought of it curiously. Only, he wants to marry someone from the Hyuga clan back home. This difficulty is almost no less than climbing to the sky. You must know among the three major families of Konoha in the past, only the Senju clan is more open. There is basically no restriction on the marriage of family members. Even Senju Hashirama as the patriarch. His wife is also Uzumaki Mito from the Uzumaki clan of Uzumaki. But, the more traditional and feudal Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan. In order to maintain the purity of the lineage of each family and the stability of the lineage of blood lineage. Both parties are basically intra-clan intermarriages. Very exclusive. This is why Qin Xuan is often ostracized by the Uchiha clan. The reason why the Uchiha clan moved out in the end. Of course, this is actually in Qin Xuan's plan. After all, it is already known that Uchiha will be wiped out. Even if he doesn't move away, there will be other reasons in the future. At least half a year in advance will not be close to the Uchiha tribe. Even the Uchiha clan is like this. Not to mention the Hyuga clan with a powerful blood succession boundary like Bayan. The women in the clan are either looking for husbands to marry into, or intermarry with men in the clan. They will never let their eyes fall into the hands of other families. Of course, unless your strength is so strong that the Hyuga clan and even Konoha can't afford it. At that time the Hyuga clan might just sit down obediently and reason. But, really responsible for the value of appearance. There are indeed many beauties in the world of Hokage. 5th Mizukage Terumi May of Water Country. The future leg shadow black soil of the land of earth. Two-tailed Jinchuriki of the Kingdom of Thunder by Wooden Golem and Samui. Little Princess Tamari of the land of Wind Hakura who is good at scorched style. Oh, wrong. Miss Yi Kang seems to have been stabbed in the back by 4th Kazekage Luo Sha. Oh, it's a pity that there is such a good-looking, capable and loyal sister Da Shangyu who is loyal to the village. It is estimated that until death I thought it was Wying Village's treachery. And I didn't expect that I would be betrayed to Wying Village by the most trusted village. Became a victim of politics. Her life. This is the bargaining chip for the truce between Sunagaku and Wying Village. The world of Pure Land. Ye Kang looked at the words in front of him in disbelief. His face was a little pale. She bit her red lips lightly. The clenched fist made the nails almost pierce into the palm. It wasn't until she took several deep breaths that she dispelled the anger in her heart. Actually, Qin Xuan guessed wrong a bit. That was the period when Ye Kang was attacked by Wying Village disguised as a friendly army. Did she really have the thought in her mind that the village sold herself? It's just that she doesn't want to believe it. Until now she is still lying to herself. But now, Qin Xuan tore off the fig leaf of the matter without hesitation. This also caused Ye Kang's heart to be even more furious. Unfortunately she has nowhere to vent. If she is still alive now, this BD Luo Sha must be beaten up severely. However, really talk about a big country with beautiful women like clouds. Konoha is definitely the well-deserved number one. There are Sanin-level Tsunade Yujihong Azuki Yuyan Mitarashi Anko Uzumaki Kushina, these big bear royal sisters. The following are Hinata Hanabi Ino, these little girls who are still growing. Puff. Tsunade, who had just taken a sip of wine, squirted it out. Yujihong is resting at home. Anbu's Azuki sunset face. The eyes of Mitarashi Anko and others who were going to eat supper also became weird. How to say? A 12 or 13-year-old child can know so much information. I'm afraid he really is a time traveler from Otherworld. Moreover, he is also a traveler who knows the future and knows a lot of information. Everyone who can hear their hearts at this time. It also no longer ignores text that can be seen in the line of sight. Started to observe seriously. Of course, Sister Nan from Akatsuki can be considered the top of the list in Hokage. There's still me, Rain Shinobi Village. Standing under the pouring rain. Conan, dressed in a black robe, stared at the writing in front of him. Thoughtful. This ability to hear the voice of the heart. Don't know what ninjutsu is. She continued to read a little casually. However, the next line of text. But it made her expression stiffen slightly. Pity. Such a beautiful Nanji was finally killed by Uchiha Obito in Shippuden. Wow. Chapter 7. 600 billion detonating talisman overturned. Obito didn't die. Seek data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 7/88. Chapter 7. 600 billion detonating talisman overturned. Obito didn't die. Seek data. It's a pity that such a beautiful Nanjia was finally killed by Uchiha Obito in Shippuden. I am dead. Stare at the writing above. Conan froze. Quite a while. She frowned solemnly. Inexplicably learned of his own death. Conan had a lot of inexplicable questions in his mind. Why should I die? Single quote. How did I die? Single quote. What does Shippuden mean? Single quote. Who is Uchiha Obito? Single quote. Etc. Uchiha Obito. Conan quickly thought of the one who could use piercing ninjutsu. A masked person who calls himself Uchiha Madara. Although Conan does not believe that the other party is the real Uchiha Madara. But there is no doubt about the fact that the masked man has the 3-tomo Sharingan. Has now joined the members of the Akatsuki organization. Except for the masked man and White Zetsu, who often follows him, he knows Nagato's true identity. The rest of the people regarded Heavenly Pain as the leader of the Shao organization. So in case the masked man has a peeping heart on Nagato's Rinnegan such as Orochimaru, Conan is basically silently guarding around Nagato's body. After all, except for Yahiko, who is dead, she has only Nagato, the only family left in this world. So she would not let the masked man do anything that could threaten Nagato. To this end, Conan serves as the financial power manager of the Akatsuki organization. In addition to the normal operation of the organization, the rest of the money, she has already purchased all the powerful detonating charms. After so many years of getting along, Conan has always had the ability to secretly observe the masks. She already knew that the so-called penetrating ninjutsu didn't seem to be able to last for too long. Therefore she is quietly preparing her whole cards. Once the masked man shows signs of turning his back, then she would kill the masked man without hesitation. Only, judging from the voice of the traveler, Uchiha Qin Xuan, it seems that he died at the hands of a man named Uchiha Obito. What she wants to know most now, it is whether this Uchiha Obito is the masked man of the Akatsuki organization. Obito. Uchiha Obito. What's the situation? I remember Uchiha Obito died during the Third Ninja World War. Yuhi Hong said with an incredulous face. Kurenai Yuhi, who was a graduate of the same class as Hatake Kakashi. Naturally, I also know Uchiha Obito. She clearly remembers that Obito and Hatake Kakashi and Nohara Rin formed the same team. Became the class led by 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. However, in the Third Ninja World War, Uchiha Obito died to save his companions. Sharingan was given to Hatake Kakashi as a birthday present. Since then, Kakashi of Sharingan, Kakashi of Copy Ninja, will be known in the world of Genin. However, Qin Xuan mentioned that Uchiha Obito did not die. This really surprised her. But, since he is still alive, why don't you come back to Konoha? You must know that Hatake Kakashi has encountered the passing away of his companions and teachers in recent years. Only then will the heart be completely closed. No longer communicate with anyone. She still has Sarutobi Asuma until later, and Might Guy petitions 3rd Hokage to remove Kakashi from his Anbu position. Wanted him to lead Konoha Genin as captain. I hope he gets out of his inner shadow. However, graduate ninjas from several years ago, a group failed his assessment. All were sent back to the Ninja Academy to rebuild. I don't know which Genin will be unlucky to be students in Kakashi's class this year. Yuhi Hong sighed slightly. Oh, this battle between Nan's sister and Uchiha Obito. More or less it's a pity. Sister Nan has already fully figured out the secret of Uchiha Obito's space-time ninjutsu. The powerful secret technique of the self-created god paper technique, which even Mangekyō Sharingan cannot see through. Time and space ninjutsu. Conan stared at the words above. In the heart, the masked man and Uchiha Obito are completely equated. Even she was aiming at Uchiha Obito. Directly use all the funds of the Shao organization for many years to purchase more than 600 billion detonators. It took tens of minutes to detonate. Hiss. Countless people have seen this number. Immediately his complexion changed drastically. Can't help taking a breath. Detonators are divided according to strength. Prices also fluctuate. The weak detonators can only be used as harassment at best. Can't really kill the enemy. And the powerful detonating talisman. The strength is comparable to some D-level ninjutsu or even C-level ninjutsu. It can easily smash a human body. But due to the high price, few people can buy on a large scale. But even the cheapest category, the cost of more than 600 billion detonators is also a very scary figure. Even if it is a cage-level powerhouse, to bear this kind of paper escape technique composed of 600 billion detonating symbols head-on is probably a narrow escape. But what shocked them even more, this paper escape strongman known as Nanjia, still seems to be lost in the hands of Uchiha Obito. How on earth did he do it? Chapter 8. The Mystery-Iyenami Danzō, the great villain exposer for data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 888. Chapter 8. The Mystery-Iyenami Danzō, the great villain exposer for data. Unfortunately, Uchiha Obito also has a hidden card. The ultimate forbidden technique of the Uchiha family was cast during the explosion. Izanagi. Forbidden technique of the Uchiha clan. Everyone was a little curious. Most of what they know about the Uchiha clan is only information recorded in ancient texts. For example, the Uchiha family's unique blood succession boundary Sharingan. A Mangekyō Sharingan that is more powerful than the Sharingan. And Susanoo, who has the power of a tailed beast that only Mangekyō can wield. And it's about secret arts. Don't talk about them outsiders. Even the Uchiha clan. It is estimated that only the patriarch, the elders, and a very small number of high-level people know about it. Ordinary people are not qualified to know the so-called forbidden technique. Izanagi is known as the art of changing fate. Its effect is to turn all the factors that are not good for you into nothingness and turn the factors that are good for you into reality. To put it bluntly, the caster of Izanagi can leave a backup before the battle. No matter what damage the caster receives in the future, even if you are suffering from great trauma or even dying, it can also be returned to the state at the time of backup in an instant. Uchiha Obito also used this ability. He directly killed Nanjia, who had run out of chakra with residual blood, leading its fragrance to disappear and Jade to die. My god, this forbidden technique is too heaven-defying. In this case, wouldn't the Uchiha clan with Uzumaki have an absolute upper hand in battle? Shizune couldn't help but exclaim. Calm down, Shizune. You're too loud. Tsunade gave a reminder. Be aware of your gaffe. Shizune quickly covered his mouth and sat back in his original position. She looked around nervously, but fortunately there was a lot of hustle and bustle in the extremely lively tavern. No one cared about Tsunade and Shizune sitting in the corner at all. Tsunade is also one of Konoha Sannin anyway. Her experience is much richer than the fledgling Shizune. So let's explain first. Although I don't know much about this Izanagi, but at least it doesn't appear to be recorded in the information about the Uchiha clan recorded by my great uncle. I'm afraid Izanagi's casting conditions are extremely harsh. Otherwise it wouldn't be listed as a forbidden technique. If anyone in the Uchiha clan could learn it, then why have we never heard of it before? A lot of people from the Uchiha clan died in battle. So your assumption is completely impossible. Shizune heard the words. It can be regarded as completely calmed down. Think about it too. The Uchiha clan are all extinct at this point. Doesn't it just show that this forbidden technique is basically a proof that no one knows? Original normal Uchiha tribe no one will learn from Izanagi. Because the conditions for performing this technique are in addition to the power of both the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. There is also a side effect that if used once it will cause a Sharingan to go blind directly. Uchiha Obito also just used the 3-tomo Sharingan stolen from the Night of Genocide as a substitute. Dare to use this whole card. This guy actually has the power of the Senju clan. Tsunade heard the name. There was a sudden chill in his eyes. Since the other party can directly steal the 3-go jade, then the power of the so-called Senju clan may have been stolen too. Sure enough, as Master Tsunade expected, the price is very high. Shizune also sighed slightly. Stronger than Mangekyō Sharingan after all. It also takes a while. Vision will gradually weaken over time. Izanagi on the other hand was blinded directly. No wonder this forbidden technique can only be used as a life-saving hole card. For a Uchiha tribe, blindness is equivalent to losing a hand, if not a last resort. No one is willing to bear this price. However, Qin Xuan's next words, not just Tsunade and Shizune, even the faces of women from neutral forces in the other 5 major countries changed dramatically. But, people like Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, who will only use Izanagi's whole card when they reach a desperate situation, are different. Shimura Danzō, the chief culprit who caused the demise of the Uchiha clan, not only transplanted Hashirama cells, directly poached Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyō Sharingan, and his whole arm is full of 3-tomo Sharingan. Passive skill that directly turns Izanagi into an undead body for 10 minutes. What a good guy. It is estimated that more than half of the 3-tomo Sharingan of the entire Uchiha clan are in the hands of this dog. Fortunately I haven't opened Sharingan yet, otherwise I don't know how much trouble I will have in the future if I am targeted by this guy. If you want to live a stable life in Konoha in the future, the scourge of Danzō must be eradicated. Shimura Danzō. See the voice above. Tsunade's violent temper could no longer be suppressed. He directly punched the table in front of him angrily. The terrifying force smashed the table into pieces like a bubble in an instant. Even the ground of the entire tavern was knocked out with a bang, and a large pit several meters deep was knocked out. This BD. How dare you blaspheme my grandfather? Chapter 9. Tsunade's wrath, the means to get points. Seek data. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 988. Chapter 9. Tsunade's wrath, the means to get points. Seek data. This BD. How dare you blaspheme my grandfather? Huge movement. It directly scared the other people in the tavern. Some were drunk, sneaking malicious glances at Tsunade and Shizune's drunks in the corner. Also woke up instantly. Everyone looked at the hole that had been punched where Tsunade was. His face was full of horror. This terrifying power, can it really be made by a woman? Master Tsunade. Shizune was also taken aback by Tsunade's sudden outburst. But she could completely understand why her master was suddenly so angry. No matter who was learning that other people wantonly steal the cells of their loved ones to conduct inhumane experiments. I am afraid that will be the case. Tsunade took a deep breath. Full curves up and down. Immediately she left the tavern expressionlessly. And Shizune smiled apologetically and left a fee as compensation for the repair. He picked up the shivering pink pig beside him and ran out. The bodyguards who were in charge of the safety of the tavern took a look at the big hole. Can't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. See Tsunade and Shizune coming out. They hurried aside. How dare you stop the two of them? Master Tsunade, you don't want to go back to Konoha, do you? Shizune asked cautiously from the side. Although she has suggested more than once in the past whether to go back to Master Tsunade's hometown to take a look. But she doesn't want to choose to go back because of this news that is not yet true or false. And face this problem. Tsunade just remained silent for a long time. He sighed all the way back to the place where he stayed. Even if you go back now, I can't produce any evidence. The so-called voice of the heart cannot be regarded as proof. Let's observe for a while longer. In fact, the point that Tsunade cares about the most. Or does my own teacher, third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, know about this? It's fine if he doesn't know. But if no, does that mean, as Hokage's teacher, is he deliberately condoning Danzō's actions? And the other side, Quan was also trembling with anger. She is different from Qin Xuan. As a genuine Uchiha clan, she has always held a grudge against Uchiha Itachi, the murderer of the entire clan. But now Qin Xuan said that Danzō was the real culprit of Uchiha genocide night. Plus Izanagi's forbidden technique and Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyō. Immediately a lot of terrifying thoughts came to her mind. Therefore the hatred for Danzō in my heart is even more profound. But, as the text in front of him dissipated, at this time also foreshadowed, their ability to listen to their hearts is also temporarily lost. Qin Xuan didn't know. Just say a few words to yourself. Not only did it set up several big enemies for Danzō, even many people in other villages are wary of the dark Danzō who was good at standing in Konoha. Of course, even no, he will also applaud. Even if Danzō can't be killed right now, he doesn't mind making him sick either. Qin Xuan returned home, seriously studied system capabilities for a while. I want to know the conditions for extracting the treasure chest. That is the so-called points. How should it be obtained? But soon, his gaze became weird. There are currently only two ways to earn points. Type 1. Contact with limited characters. The second type. Complete hidden restrictions. The first one is easier to understand. A simple touch is approaching, shaking hands, hugging, hooking shoulders, and so on. Even if it's only for a second, you can get points. According to the degree of contact, it is divided into 4 levels. The higher the level, the more points you get every second. Only this so-called limited role made him a little confused. But at least, Qin Xuan was communicating with some acquaintances just now. There was also a pat on the shoulder. Unfortunately, no points were awarded. Will it be the main character in the Hokage ninja plot? Qin Xuan pondered for a moment. Decided to wait until tomorrow to go to Ninja Academy to find Hinata, Ino, Shikacho or Naruto and try them. As for the second hidden qualification, since there is no hint at all, it is equivalent to opening a blind box. So Qin Xuan didn't care about it. The next day, Qin Xuan is walking on a familiar path. Simply deal with breakfast. I ran to the ninja school. Over this period of time, because of the inability to practice ninjutsu, so he still has a headache for the class related to this aspect. But now the problems that have plagued him for more than a decade have disappeared. The whole person became much refreshed. Not only that, in the whole class, the amount of chakra in his body except Naruto, even Uchiha Sasuke, who is the oldest, may not be as many as him. Qin Xuan casually walked into the classroom. It was found that some familiar faces such as Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, Aburame Shino, Hyuga, Hinata, etc. were sitting in the seats early. These are the top students in the class. Almost never late. And Qin Xuan was originally a person who came to class stepping on the spot. So I walked into the classroom so early today. It also made other students look weird. Qin Xuan, you came so early today. Haruno Sakura's eyes lit up. Subconsciously planned to stand up and meet him. But she suddenly remembered what Ino said earlier, that Qin Xuan prefers quieter girls. She immediately pretended to be a lady. Qin Xuan looked at the little Sakura, who had a completely different personality from the original book. Although I feel a little strange. But he still nodded with a smile. After simply saying hello to small Sakura, Sasuke, Shino and others, he sat beside Hinata without any hesitation. Morning. Good morning, brother Qin Xuan. The little loli in a beige velvet jacket showed a soft smile. He greeted shyly. Chapter 10. I have to find a way to lure her home. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 1088. Chapter 10. I have to find a way to lure her home. Previous. Next. In the end only Hinata and little Sakura can get me points. Qin Xuan sat next to Hinata. I feel a little depressed. He also guessed at the beginning that the characters in Hokage should all be able to get points. But in the end, when he was close to the few people in front, only when near small Sakura and Hinata, only then did the system sound a reminder that the points had increased. Watch the numbers above change little by little. Qin Xuan's mood that had been settled overnight was once again excited. Although currently Hinata can only add 1 point per second to himself. But even so, there are 60 seconds in a minute. There are 60 minutes in an hour. That is, he can get 3,600 points in 1 hour. And not more than 3 hours. Qin Xuan can save enough to draw the initial treasure chest. This is really a sweet pastry. Qin Xuan looked at Hinata with eyes like a wolf and a tiger. I can't wait to trick this little loli home and use it to accumulate points for 24 hours. After all, intermediate treasure chests require 100,000 points. You can get green quality, blue quality, purple quality treasure chests half discount for the first draw. High-level treasure chests require 1 million points. You can get blue quality, purple quality and gold quality treasure chests and you can get a half discount for the first draw. Just a few hours of school. It is estimated that I will save until the year of the monkey. He saw Qin Xuan sitting beside him. Hinata also looked away immediately. Maybe it's because I heard Qin Xuan's voice last night. Hinata couldn't help feeling a little guilty. Especially when he thought of what the other party said yesterday. He had to find a way to marry her and his sister back home. Just think about it. She felt a little hot on her cheeks. How dare he look at Qin Xuan? However, having said that, worthy of being one of the 3 pupil techniques buy-in. It's really beautiful. This familiar ethereal voice. It was almost identical to what Hinata heard last night. She raised her head subconsciously. Cautiously he looked aside from the corner of his eye. I saw Qin Xuan staring into her eyes curiously. Hinata's heart suddenly became more flustered. Such a cute face value. In the initial setting of the Hokage ninja work, the appearance turned out to be mediocre. It's really hard to understand. I don't know if it's because of the world view or because of the white eyes. To know, this little girl doesn't appear many times. But the world popularity over there has directly crushed the little Sakura, who was the #1 heroine. Especially 3 or 4 years later during the Shippuden period after Hinata had long hair. A lot of Hokage fans were amazed when they appeared on the stage. The so-called 18 changes of women's university is just like that. Hokage ninja, little Sakura, the first heroine, our world. Are these strange settings like novels true or false? The people who could hear their hearts were naturally feeling strange. After all, someone suddenly told them one day. The world they live in and their characters. It's just a work written by someone in another world. I'm afraid no one can accept it. Certainly, it is difficult for some people to accept. But there are also many people who focus on other places. That little Sakura turned out to be the #1 heroine. Ino looked at the text in front of him. I was a little surprised. That one has a wide forehead. When I was a child I often hid in a corner and cried alone. And she kept spying on Qin Xuan in her family. Then the little girl who circled around Qin Xuan turned out to be the #1 heroine. Who is that hero? Uchiha Sasuke. And Hinata will be liked by many people in Qin Xuan's world after she grows her hair long. This also made Ino feel very curious. And Hinata is even more shy. From childhood to adulthood, no one has ever told her that her eyes are beautiful or anything like that. On the contrary, they are children in the village. When I saw her with eyes different from theirs, or they would run over and push her down. Say something like, I defeated the strongest Hyuga family. Single quote. Either humiliate her, for having such strange eyes. Single quote. Even on the first day of school I couldn't avoid being the focus of everyone. Then Loon is the target of being bullied or something. Fortunately Qin Xuan will also help her out. Slowly, she also integrated into Qin Xuan's small circle. Then with Ino Shikamaru Choji they became friends. So for Qin Xuan, she has always had longing gratitude and a trace of unclear emotions in her heart. But at least when she knew Qin Xuan's true thoughts, in addition to being shy, she was still slightly delighted. After all, the voice in your heart doesn't lie. Hinata, how are you? Why is your face so red? Qin Xuan was a little surprised. Although Hinata is easily shy, he also knows it. But no matter how they got along for so many years, they should have some immunity. It's just that he blushed after staring at him for a while. Then how could he lure this little loli back home? Cheat home. Single quote. Hinata shuddered, almost passed out. Qin Xuan on the other hand quickly supported her by the shoulder. It didn't let her fall down. Are you really okay? Qin Xuan touched Hinata's forehead. But the next second, he suddenly realized. At this time the amount of points began to skyrocket at 2 points per second. Chapter 11. I like Sasuke. In the original book, Ino and small Sakura are numb. Collecting treasure chests in Konoha, tricking a shy Hinata home. 1188. Chapter 11. I like Sasuke. In the original book, Ino and small Sakura are numb. See sudden changes. Qin Xuan was a little dazed for a while. Immediately he reacted suddenly. If it is close to the scope of first-level contact, then the more intimate action of touching the forehead falls within the scope of second-level contact. So the points are multiplied by 2 times and start to grow. And the third-level contact is twice the points of the second-level contact. Tier 4 touches again double the points for Tier 3 touches. So to say, if after the limit, Qin Xuan can get 8 points every second, 1 minute is 480 points. 1 hour is 28,800 points. It was almost equivalent to 3 draws from the initial treasure chest. This number is simply terrifying. To know, this is only the basic point authority obtained by the first level system. If a total of 50,000 points are obtained, the system will also usher in the first upgrade. At that time the points that can be obtained will be doubled again. Then it is like the A-level fire style ninjutsu worth hundreds of thousands of points that appeared in the fire style skill tree unlocked by Qin Xuan before. And S-level fire style ninjutsu worth hundreds of thousands to millions of points does not seem to be out of reach. I'm fine. Hinata quickly waved her hand. Especially when they found out that they were so close. She was flustered for a moment. I don't know where to look. He could only stare down at his fingers. And Qin Xuan was also somewhat reluctant to part with the soaring points. See, Hinata did not speak. He also put one hand on the little loli's forehead. Pretend to be calm and ask some trivial things. But it didn't take long. A gust of fragrant wind came from behind. Immediately afterwards a pair of white and tender jade arms wrapped around Qin Xuan's neck. The girl almost pressed her whole body up. At the same time they warmly greeted Qin Xuan and Hinata. Good morning. Qin Xuan, Hinata, you guys came early today. What is this doing? Ino asked with a smile. Qin Xuan withdrew his hand from Hinata's forehead calmly. See, the little loli sighed with some regret in her heart. Just now Hinata almost fainted. I just helped to see if she is not feeling well. Qin Xuan explained. Ino on the other hand squinted his eyes in doubt. Real or fake? Although she was a little shy, she didn't faint out of nowhere. Did you do something? Qin Xuan felt very innocent. But he really didn't do anything. I simply asked her if she was not feeling well. As a result Hinata suddenly blushed and almost fainted. Ino hummed twice. Also ignore Qin Xuan. Just like that we chatted with Hinata on his shoulder. And Qin Xuan after finding his hand left Hinata. Points are still rising at a rate of 2 minutes per second. After a brief astonishment, immediately realized that Ino seemed to be one of the limited characters as well. But, what is the rule of limiting characters? Only for female characters. Think for a moment. Qin Xuan couldn't get an answer. Also ignore it. As for Ino's move to be so close, Qin Xuan was not stupid enough to let this little blonde girl go away. After all, the faint floral fragrance of this little Lolita can make people feel happy and refreshed. You can still earn points now. A fool would let her go. Speaking. According to the normal timeline in the original book, at this time the person Ino and Sakura likes should be Uchiha Sasuke. But now because of my presence, the two have no intersection at all. The two little girls Ino and Sakura did not break up because of this. The conversation between Ino and Hinata became quieter. They all began to shift their attention. And Ino showed an extremely weird look.